if you think I won't start episode 116 with a saxophone break, I'm talking we're taking a break before we even start. You know, I was like, all right, I have a fresh saxophone interlude entitled Lafayette Street, submitted by the one, the only, Callan Iska McNallen, an emphasis on only because he is the only one who submitted a piece, and he did so before he even heard episode 115 requesting such a piece. So shout out to him and no one else. I mean, I don't know. It's like maybe I just assumed, you know, there were several listeners amongst you who played an instrument. You know, it's like, to me, I'm just thinking like everyone kind of dabbles in an instrument, and maybe that's on me. Maybe you guys are hearing the last episode requesting very specifically the boldest request of a flute interlude, and you're just like, okay, well, like, I don't play the flute, I don't play this, I don't play that, I don't play anything. So yeah, I'd love to come through, but it's like, listen, unless you want me to learn damn clarinet in 6 days time, like, I don't think I'm gonna be the person to step up. You know, it's like I just sort of assumed that everyone kind of played an instrument. And, you know, as we know, I used to play guitar. I want to play piano so badly. I just feel like I have songs in me that need to be sung. And listen, I've already sung a great deal of songs, and some of them are on my website, but it doesn't matter, and that's not why I brought it up. I just feel like, you know, it's hard to be dependent on people. It's like, you know, when I want to do a live from a Christmas tree lot, a live from a pumpkin patch, and those ones specifically, you know, it's like, it's just hard when I wish I could just do everything myself. I wish I could film the videos. I wish I could do it all, but I can't, you know. It's like, and then you have to coordinate schedules. It doesn't always work out, and then you're waiting, and then you lose momentum, and then you're like, just forget it. You know, it's easy to lose momentum, but you never know when you're going to get it back. And we veered extremely off course, but I guess what I was ultimately trying to say was, it's like sometimes I'll like write some lyrics to songs, you know, like have a melody in mind, but then I'm just like, I need to contact my friends who play an instrument. Whereas like if I could just play piano, then it's like I'm basically Olivia Rodrigo. You know? And it's like, that would just be, then it's like if I have a song, it doesn't like sit in my notes app. I could just like fire up GarageBand and like, yeah, essentially just everything goes back to me being Olivia Rodrigo. Damn, I forgot about Olivia Rodrigo. You know, it's like she was just burning up the charts there for a second. She was burning up my Spotify. And listen, I don't doubt she's out there thriving. You know, she just hasn't been in such focus in my life as she was at one point. But I feel like, not that anyone asked, but I do feel like her next album is going to be like just as good as the first. Like, I just feel like she can't be stopped. So yeah, when I got this piece delivered into my lap, Lafayette Street, I just thought, you know what? I don't want to wait for an interlude. When you have a sizzling piece of, you know, I guess I wanted to use a better word than music, but like, I don't know if there is one. When you have just such a sizzling piece of music fall into your lap, you're just like, I want to use it now. You know, it's kind of like when, I don't know if this is quite the same, but it's like when you get your food and like people save their French fries for after they've finished their burger, their sandwich, what have you. You know, and it's like, well, the saxophone interlude is the French fries, and I'm like, I don't want to wait to eat the French fries. Like, I want to eat it, I want to enjoy it perhaps even first, perhaps mixed in alternating bites of the sandwich, burger, what have you. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, like I'm gonna make myself just eat the main meal and then I'll get to the fries, you know. And I know people who do that, and it's like, listen, respect, like do what you have to do, like, you know, it's not what I would do, but listen. So it's kind of like that, you know, like the saxophone interlude is the fries, and I was like, listen, what's stopping me from taking a couple fries before I eat my sandwich? What's stopping me from starting with the saxophone interlude? Okay, I think we pretty much covered it. We've exhausted the ground. We all get it. But I do dare you to find a podcast who's just cold opening with a saxophone interlude. I mean, I just dare you. And I'm so confident that you will never, ever find one. So welcome back. It's episode 116. It's Monday morning. It's gloomy as all hell. It's like, we get it, you know? It's like, it's enough. It's enough. And I'm actually a person who likes the overcast, but it's like, we're good here. We're good here. What was it that I wanted to say during this? Oh yeah, so last week, I think I said that my boyfriend and I went out to a really subpar dinner. And listen, I wasn't exaggerating. It wasn't bad. It was subpar. We wanted to go to this really good sushi place that we had been to once before, and we had got there really early because I know it gets busy and there's no reservations, which is always like, you know, it's, I guess, respect, but it's like you call and they're just like, listen, like there is no way for us to get you down for 7:30. Like it's just not even in the realm of possibility. Like you're either here or you're not. Like we're not planning any of this in advance. Like we want it to just be kind of chaotic. So yeah, it's like this is one of those restaurants, they don't take reservations, and we kind of last minute were like, okay, let's go. And it's like, as I was getting ready, I was like, we're not going fast enough. Like we're not gonna get, like you kind of just have to get there before they open. And I was just like getting ready knowing that we were gonna be at least 30 minutes late, and like I just chose to be naive. I chose to just ignore the pretty obvious fact that we probably weren't gonna get to eat there. But like I can't explain it. It was just hard to hustle at that moment. Like I had not been feeling well that day, so I was kind of just like, with every step I took, I was like, am I really going out to dinner? Like as I was doing my hair, I was like, am I really doing this? As I'm doing my makeup, I'm like, wait, am I actually gonna go? You know? So whatever. Okay, so yeah, we were driving and we saw it, and it was like absolutely like line out the door, and we were really hungry. So it was just like, you know what, it's fine. Like I don't want to, it was cold. It's like, I don't want to stand out here for 45 minutes, you know, like I just simply don't. So we pivoted. Across the street was this restaurant that like maybe a month ago I had gone to with my sisters, and I had never been there before. And one of my sisters was like, oh yeah, there's this really good udon place. And I'm like, okay, like I like udon. I don't love it. You know, it's like, it's not bad. It's just never like overwhelmed me. And maybe I haven't had the right ones. I'm definitely willing to say that. But it's like, I guess 10 out of 10 times I'd rather have ramen. And I don't know if they're like, I'm not saying they're comparable or they even need to be compared, but it's just like, I guess like a warm soup with noodles and other stuff in it. It's like, I just would rather have ramen, whatever. Like okay, we just took a detour that like we got out, and people were like, wait, why did we get out? And it was like, I thought you had to pee. And someone was like, no. And it was like, I thought you needed a drink. And someone was like, yeah, no. And we were like, oh my God, we have to get back in the car. That was just that detour. Whatever. Well, I guess, so when we went there, my sister was like, yeah, they have this like really incredible cold ramen. And like I was kind of like, what is she talking about? But at the same time I was like, whatever. So we went there, and she was like, she was ordering and she's like, okay, she's the waiter. She's like, where's that cold ramen? And he was like, sorry. And she was like, you had a cold ramen. Sorry, udon. And he was like, no. And like the whole reason we went there was to get this like frigid udon, sorry. And so then we were like confused, whatever. We were like, and then so my other sister was like, okay, like, can I get this udon? She's like, is it hot? And he thought she meant like, is it spicy? And he was like, a little bit, or I don't know, whatever. Like basically like he was like so confused by us because we were like confused by my sister saying it was cold. So we were like, is the soup hot or no? And he was like, wait, what are you guys talking about? Like, of course it's hot. We were like, all right, this is just whatever. So we got like some different stuff. It was really, really good. Like it was really great. So much so that when we saw that the sushi place we wanted to go to was pretty packed, I was like, oh, let's go here. I went here like a month ago. It was really good. Like whatever. I'm easy, you know, like I can just switch like that. Like I feel like it'll just be really good. And it's like, we haven't gone here together. It's a new spot, whatever. So we got there. There's like nowhere to sit. Oh my God, this is okay. I should have just jumped to the end, whatever. It's when you start with a saxophone, when you start with a cold open saxophone, it's like, it's going to take a minute for your brain to catch up to your heart, you know, like it's going to take a minute for your mind to just like sync up to what's going on. Okay. So whatever, we sit down, there's only one table outside. We're like, oh, are there heating lamps? They're like, no. It's like, you know, it's like, unless you live in Palm Springs, even then it's like, throw a couple heating lamps out there. It's like, I get that this is LA. Like, it's still like decently cold many days out of the year, like especially at night, you know? So it was just like, okay, like no heating lamps, whatever. I guess like the udon will warm us up. So a little bit cold, whatever, we order and it comes and it's like, the soup is like lukewarm. And my boyfriend, once again, I know it sounds like rude. He truly is meaning it in the most sincere way. He's like, oh, is this supposed to be kind of like a room temp situation? And she's like, well, our waitress is essentially, she's like, no, it's supposed to be really, really hot, but we can't serve it really hot because people just like, you know, they can't handle it. Like it's going to be too hot for people. And it's like, And I was just like cold and a bit distracted and I just wasn't really processing what was happening. And I was just like, yeah, that seems right, you know? Like, and then the more we thought about it, like we were just like, wait, what? Like, it's like, so you're overthinking it, you know? It's like dishes are supposed to be hot. Like you're not at fault. Like people all the time at restaurants set down plates and they're like, it's really hot. And you're like, okay. And then it's up to you if you want to wait for it or if you want to singe all your taste buds off. Like it's, they made the choice yours. Like they're not liable at this point for a lawsuit. It's like, they're out of it. It's like, you asked for soup, here's soup. You know, inherently, unless you're just like messing around with a gazpacho of sorts, which like even saying it now, I don't know if that's cold. I think it is. I don't love cold soup. You know, it's just like, it's not soup at that point. Like it's just sort of like a smoothie in a bowl, but whatever. Again, maybe I haven't had the right one. But yeah, it's like, if I ask for a soup, I'm down for it to be pretty hot and like I'll just wait 1 minute and then it will be edible and then like I'll just go from there. It's like, you guys are starting out lukewarm, so then in 1 minute it's gonna be cold. And then she was like, if you want, like I can bring you like extra soup and like pour it in to warm it up. And we were like, I mean, I guess why not? You know, it's like, sure. And then so she just came and like poured this like sort of what looked like dirty water into the soup. It made it about a half a degree warmer. And I don't know. It's like, if we can't serve hot soup in this nation, if we're just like, people can't handle it, it's like, I think we should be wiped out as a nation. It's like, we're just catering too much to people at this point. Like, probably one person was like, it's too hot, and then they were like, you know, everyone's like terrified of like people suing, offending people, doing this, being that. People are so sensitive. It's like, listen, it's fucking soup. Like, you know what you're signing up for. Act accordingly. If you have a sensitive palate, it's like, give it a 2-minute window instead of one. Like, it's just, honestly, I can't handle it. It was just disappointing, and it's just like, damn, it's like, should we have just waited? No, okay, listen, I decided yesterday I'm extracting the word should out of my vocabulary. Like, say goodbye to it, it's gone. I'm not ever saying I should have anymore, because what does that do for me? Well, I didn't, or I did. It's over. It's done. There's nothing to do about it. So it's like, it's actually a waste of breath. It's a waste of everyone's time to sit here and say, I should have done this. So whatever, you know. And then I wouldn't have this glorious anecdote to tell. If I had just gone to a bomb-ass dinner, like, that's where the story would have ended, you know. But now we have this absolutely riveting soup situation to kind of dissect. So in a way, I should be thanking them. And, you know, that's along the line of thinking sometimes your greatest problems can be your greatest gifts. You know, you're not going to grow from a good situation. You're going to grow from a bad one, you know. And I guess I've done a lot of growing. I guess I'm pretty grown. But anyways, and then yeah, we went to this like Greek yogurt place after. It's like, truly how unpredictable our prices these days. It's like, I know inflation, but it's like, I just can't even guess what stuff is gonna be. Like, we actually tried to go to Pinkberry. It was closed at about 7:30 at night. And it was like, because Pinkberry randomly like closes earlier than it should. Like, they really pack it up. They pack that plain neutral yogurt out there. Like, we'll get it again tomorrow. But yeah, we went and it was just like closed. And I was like, oh, I like checked, you know, what time it closed at, and it was like 10. So this one actually was open later than most of them. And then I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if the tart flavor just wasn't hitting today, and they were like, all right, you guys, you know, like, we'd rather close than serve a subpar product, which was not what the udon place was thinking. They were like, yeah, we'll serve lukewarm soup all day. We don't give a fuck. We just don't want people to burn their tongues. We don't want people to get mad at us. So then once again, life is just all about pivots. All you do is just pivot from one place to another. Oh, can't do that. All right, what else can we do? So Pinkberry was closed. There was no way I was just going home after a subpar dinner. So I was like, oh, let's go to this Greek yogurt place that my sister had told me about. And we walked in, it was just like, he was like, this guy behind the counter was like, I forget what price he said. He's like, it's this amount for like 1 ounce. And I was like, sir, I'm not a mathematician. It's like, what? Just like, say it in normal terms. Like, what's like a half cup? You know, like, what's like, it's like, oh, sorry. Like, it's like, why are people always talking in like measurements as if we're all just fucking fluent in measurements? Like, I was just like, I don't know. And once again, I'm like, I mean, if he's telling us how much it is per ounce, like, it's probably pretty expensive, whatever. I didn't even get that much because it did look, it's like, you know, at those places where you serve yourself, it's like, it's really tempting. Sometimes it's hard to let go of the lever, you know, when you go to frozen yogurt places and you just do it yourself. And it's like, you pull that lever down and it's kind of like addicting. You're like, I don't want to let this thing go. And, you know, I guess from the pandemic, like, no one does samples anymore, you know, like the little cups. It's like, you cannot be sampling shit. Like, you fucking just open a door and hope for the best. And I'm not, accepting that lying down. So what I do, it was like survival of the fittest, like it was evolution at its finest. Because I poured a little bit of a flavor in my cup, and I put it so it went at the bottom. And then I was trying to fit my whole face in there to lick the flavor to see if I liked it, to see if I wanted to get more. And it was hard, because my face didn't fully fit in the cup. It was just difficult. I got a little taste, enough to know that I didn't want it. But then, so on the next one, I learned what I did was I did the lever and I put a little dollop on the side of my cup. And it was just like, I really, survival of the fittest. It's like, listen, I'm a cheetah in 4 BC and like I'll be here in 2023 because I know how to fucking adapt. I understood the assignment. So then I got a taste of that flavor and I was like, yeah, I want that. And then I was able to fill up. Didn't get much because I was like, I feel like this is going to be quite heavy, the Greek yogurt. I probably got the least amount you could get, like, while at the same time it kind of being something. And we both put our yogurts on the scales. My boyfriend didn't get that much more than me. And I was like, I have no idea what number is going to come out of his mouth. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm on The Price is Right, and I'm just looking at the audience like I'm fucking lost. I'm like, what should I do? Like, what number is it? I didn't know if he was going to say $8 or $40. Like, I had no clue. And then he hit us with 15. And I was like, I mean, truly, you just gotta laugh. It's like $15. Like, for what, sir? But I was glad I got some extra tastes in with my self-adapted sampling. So, it was probably more like 13, which I guess is better. Anyways, I am coming to you. If it seems like I sound a bit lighter, fluffier, airier, it's because I got this like scalp treatment. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna get a scalp treatment. I got the aforementioned scalp treatment. It was everything to me and more. Like, I learned about the scalp treatment in April 2021. And ever since I learned about it, I was like, that's all I've ever wanted to do. Like, that looks like heaven. And then 2 years later, it's like sometimes things aren't going to be immediate. Sometimes you are going to have a 2-year gap. Sometimes you're going to have a 4-year gap. Sometimes 6 months. You get it. But I went to the salon, and it's like right when you meet the person who's going to do the treatment and you're like, I trust them with my life. Like, I know this is going to be good. That's how I felt. And it's so crazy. Like, they take this kind of wand and it's like a video essentially, and they like look at your scalp and like, it wasn't perfect, like there was work to be done. It's like, I have such thick hair, like it's hard for me to always get everything out, like it's just a lot. So it's like there was just buildup, like it was like there was like some irritation. And then she led me into this room, like you like steam out the scalp with like these essential oils, these products, this peppermint situation, like scratching, massaging, just absolutely cleansing it. And when I emerged, and then afterwards you look at it again, it was white as snow. It was clean as a whistle. I've never seen anything cleaner in my life. And then I got my hair blow dried, and it was like, truly, I'm a different person. I'm a different person, and it's nice when you get a service and you're like, that was worth it. That was worth it. And I just feel so good right now, and I'm telling everyone and anyone I know to go get this scalp treatment. If you live in LA, it's at this place called Blow Me Away, and I was fucking blown. I was blown so far away. Like, they were like, where are you? And I was like, I'm actually 4 miles away. That's how far I've been blown. So yeah, I would recommend getting on that, and they are raising the price in June. So that stings, but you still have about, what day is it? The 22nd. How many days are in May? Probably 31. So what's that? You have about 9 days to get down there and get, you know, the current price and get your scalp absolutely clean, cleansed, just stripped to its most natural, incredible form. So yeah. Popped out of town for a wedding this weekend. It's always crazy to be gone for just one night. Like, we left early Saturday morning, came back last night. I missed the Nuggets, Lakers game on Saturday. I'm gonna have to rewatch it today. Luckily, I was able to watch the Heat Celtics game in the car on the way back. Wow. Just wow, you know? And it's like the Celtics, it's like, listen, I'm a fan of the Heat and the Celtics. And I wanted it for the Celtics. You know, they were so close last year. It felt like you guys got to go back to the finals. You know, like, you got to take another stab at this. But just like, you know, as the playoffs have gone on, I'm like, listen, you guys don't want it or something. It's like, I can't want it more than you. So yeah, you know, and always a huge fan of Jimmy Butler, obviously. And it's, you know, both coasts are up 3-0, you know, Denver 3-0, Heat 3-0. It's like, I mean, it's by all accounts looking like a Heat Nuggets finals, and I'm just like, damn. I mean, obviously I'm, you know, Nuggets #1, but it's like I am a fan of Jimmy Butler, you know, and God, I can't even think about it. All right, let's just move on. I really did just like once the playoffs started, I was like, I'm not doing shows. Like, it's gotta be beyond worth my while for me to miss a moment of this, because I do want to be on Bill Simmons' podcast in the very near future. I do want to work with the NBA in the NBA. So it's like, I'm basically going to medical school right now. Like, I'm studying to be a doctor. So it's like, I probably already said this, it's hard, you know. It's embarrassing. All right, but whatever. It's just like, yeah, I need to watch all of this. So unless you're going to pay me a pretty penny to do a tight 12, I won't be there. But I am going to do a spot at the Bourbon Room Friday on Brandon Wardell's show, and then June 1st, I got the Improv Lab, I believe, at 7:30, and then June 3rd, I booked a show at the Ice House, curated the lineup, and yeah, June 3rd at 7:30, that would be the one to go to, you know? And it sounds nice to spend a Saturday night in Pasadena, you know? It's like, there's just a lot going on there. So you can go to the Ice House for tickets. I'll probably put it in my bio shortly, but yeah. God, that was so boring. Okay. It's a gloomy day. I'm gonna go meet my sister for a walk soon. We're just gonna trot around the neighborhood, and I'm just torn. I'm like, should I wear her ankle weights? Because I want to wear the ankle weights, but then it will remind her that I have them, and then she'll probably want them back. So that's tough right there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I did a top secret project last May, pretty much last year at this time, a little earlier in the month, and they've just released the trailer. It's a reboot for the Joe Schmo show, and that's what I did last May. That's why I was at a hotel in Glendale for about 3 weeks. That's why I got a spray tan in the hotel in Glendale. And yeah, it's like, it's just crazy when stuff comes out. It's like, you do it and you're like, yes, you're like, great, and they're like, this is gonna come out in summer. or no, they said fall. So it was May, and they're like, this is coming out in fall. And I was like, fucking great. And then they were like, all right, it's coming out end of December, early January. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't hear anything about it. And then just last week, got an email, and it was like, yeah, it's coming out in 2024. And it was like, all right, like, I guess I'll take it. Like, they were like, I don't know, everything's just so messy. It's like shows get filmed and then they don't get put out. And I guess this one is lucky to still, you know, be getting put out. So we got to be grateful for that. And it was announced at like the upfronts in New York, and it's just happening, you know. And I don't know, I went into a bit of a tailspin about it. I was just like, oh, like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. I should have had them do my hair like this. And I'm just like truly exhausted myself. And then I was like, enough. Wow. See, should have. Should have is just never gonna make you feel good. It's like, it's absolutely so pointless. I can't even stand it. But yeah, the Joe Show, oh my God, the Joe Schmo Show coming out in TBS. Just a casual 2024. It's like, I'm assuming that's January, but who knows? So yeah, we got that to look forward to. We got Nuggets Lakers game tonight, and yeah. The submissions are still open. If you have learned an instrument since last week and you want to submit it for the next episode, and who knows, we might open with it, we might interlude it, we might close with it. It's like, I'm just susceptible to do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, if you want, you can email that to composedpod@gmail.com. And please subscribe, rate, review. That's a given. That's absolutely a given. And yeah, once again, I'm sure I'll think of 45 trillion things to say once I end the episode, but you know, I think we got some pretty good stuff in this one. Oh man. All right. Signing off with an impeccable scalp, a never before attempted saxophone cold open, a new take on soup, a deep fear and respect of Greek yogurt, and an unsettling ability to adapt and pivot. And I suggest you do the same. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.